on this fabulous Friday. Well, here we are, and my name's Cheryl Anderson, and here's Friday's live video. Today, I've been thinking about, I hear lots of people talking about what they want in their life, what they don't like, the people they don't like, situations they don't like. Which got me thinking about, and I was actually speaking to someone and I said this to them, which made me think, I think this is a really good topic for my life, which is be the change that you want to see. Now, I always thought that this was like Buddha that said this, but it was actually Mahatma Gandhi, all right? Very famous man. Now, if you say that to yourself in your head, then say it out loud. Be the change that you want to see. Suddenly it turns it around and puts the power back in your own hands. We like to think it's actually just making us responsible for some things, but in actual fact, it really is putting the power where it should be, which is with you. Because there's one certainty in this universe, and it can be proven in science as well. I mean, you would see it yourself day to day. You may not recognize it and you might not live by it. I do. I mean, good Lord, it's definitely something that's in my everyday. What you like attracts like, all right? That's the scientific term. Well, no, that's the basis of obviously a much better worded, but like attracts like, so same attracts same. You know, it's simply how it is. So whatever vibration you are on, whatever energy level, are you a happy energy level? Are you an angry energy level? Are you a frantic energy level? Are you a raging energy level? Because whichever one of these you are, you're going to attract the very same back to you. Now, you know yourself, everybody's done it. You've had a bad day, or you wake up in the morning. Hi, Kaz. You wake up in the morning and think, and you know, you're just having a crap day. So you get along, you do what you do, you make your coffee, you get off to work, but you just keep having the same thing come at you. Bad timing in the traffic, or someone cuts in, or you forget to take something with you to work. It might be a lipstick, it could be your key card to get into work. What happens is, whatever energy you are generating, that's the exact same frequency and energy you are going to draw back to yourself. So a lot of people think that in their life, the outcome is in somebody else's hand, or it's something sort of serendipitous, and well, no, that's not the truth. The truth is, whatever you come to the party with, whatever energy you decide to emanate, that's what you're going to get back. So it's always going to be your responsibility. If you don't like crap, then you have to use the world as a mirror. It's not pretty, and a lot of people don't want to do it. They don't even want to look. They don't want to take responsibility. They don't want to look. That's fine. Myself, I couldn't get to that mirror fast enough, because I thought, when I learned this, 20, 30 years ago, someone had said, you use the people around you as a mirror. They're a mirror for who you are. What are you giving out? People around you. So whoever you're attracting to you is a direct reflection of who you are. Now, bear in mind, we can have good days, bad days. We have some friends that are great and some that are not so great. We have it's a bit of a duality situation, like the world is made up of duality anyway, if you get down to the nitty-gritty. But if you look at the people around you, one, they will show you the energy, the immediate people around you, like who you saw today, how someone reacted to you at the shops or something along those lines, is a direct reflection of what energy you've got going on right in that moment. However, there's an upside to this too. When you look around in your life, all of the people in your life represent a facet of yourself. Now, I've had times in my life where, the scales were like this, and it was definitely outweighed with like way more shitty people than great people, and that was back in the time when I really didn't understand what cause and effect. I didn't know how that worked. So to me, it was sort of, you feel like you're at the mercy of some unjust, omnipotent power, when that's not the truth at all. Now, I, at the time, looked at people in my life, and some of the women in my life were just staggeringly fantastic in their own way. And then when I looked, I realized that it was very humbling and very empowering, because I had to look and realize that all of them reflected a part of me. So when I saw someone, I thought they were gifted at what they maybe they were great with people. Well, then, they were reflecting my ability to be great with people. Do you know? I mean, everyone is different. We have different friends, some are in our lives for just a little blip. Some are there for a lot longer. So in understanding that every single thing in your life that's happening to you, you brought it into being. It was nobody else's actions that did this. It's simply impossible for somebody else to do this, because everything in your life, as I've said in other videos, everything starts here. Everything starts with a thought. You can't do anything without a thought. You see people in a comatose state, right? Well, they're still having thoughts, but let's imagine, like, they can't do anything, right? So their body's not doing anything. There's nothing going on because there's no thought happening to create the action. So that's probably not a very good example, but like if you stood at home and you just stood in a corner and didn't do anything and didn't think anything, nothing would happen. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So in understanding that everything starts with a thought, nobody can get into your head and change anything there. I mean, we allow people in, we allow thoughts in, we allow opinions in, we allow situations that maybe had a lot of emotion attached to them, we allow them in. But in truth, it's us that has the ultimate say in what goes on in here. Every single time. Every single time. So no one can change your life unless you decide to change here first. All right? So always, I mean, I found that really cool. I thought, good, thank God no one can get in and run my life. Like, I remember being very happy to learn that. Like, as much as I had a lot of questions, I hadn't really grasped what it all meant. This is like 30 years ago, 33 years ago, when I first started reading Louise Hay and a myriad of other people at the time. So I was very grateful for that. But then I was on the journey of understanding how my thoughts created my world, because it's not something I learned at school. It's not something that's taught. You have to be a self-starter and get into this and chew on these questions and really think about them to get to the point where you can then take that power back and start to produce the life that you want, instead of the life that's happening by default, which is when you don't spend your time cultivating thoughts that are nourishing for your life, when you just allow shitty thoughts in and out, or thoughts about shows on television, characters in shows. I mean, that's another trap too, just getting into this, craziness. So in the act of, in the knowing of this, I was able to turn my life around in a way that was not only brilliant, it was breathtaking as well. I mean, I really went hard at it. I decided I can do this and I can think my way through it, and I'm going to read and I'm going to learn and I'm going to take responsibility because I want a different life. And then it's different. You take it on incrementally as far as the responsibility, because there's still people, I have people in my life that you can talk about it, that, like your life is about what you talk in, you bring in your life, whatever you think about, and they'll agree with it, but only to the point where they don't have to take responsibility, where they can still moan and groan about life's not good, it's really horrible, and somebody did this to me, or somebody did that, but in truth, if you want a free life, you have to do it. It starts here. You have to go here first. End of story. And I talk about this in my videos. Your mind, your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, your unconscious mind. These three play your entire life, your entire being is about those three states. So once you can start acting in a responsible manner and in a caring, loving manner towards yourself, that's when you start to see changes, because it takes commitment to decide that you will change your thoughts, because you have to catch the negative thoughts when they come. All right, so it's this ongoing thing. You don't have to tell anyone you're doing it. In fact, I would not tell anybody that you're doing it, because everyone wants to have an opinion and blah, 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 blah. So in the being willing to look at your own thoughts and your own actions and take responsibility and realize you create everything that comes to you. You can't just have something come or not spend any time, and you get this like a happening that comes from default thinking, right? When you're not thinking on your own, you're just going through this robotic thing, and your conscious mind and your subconscious mind are steering your meat suit around and interacting in life. So you're getting these situations back that aren't congruent with what you're desiring, what you're wanting in your life. So if you can just get to the point where, okay, here's how I started, here's what I did. I knew that a negative thought would have a negative feeling in my body. All right. So I knew that my solar plexus in my gut and my abdomen were the two ding dong places that I would feel negativity. I mean, you do have it in your thoughts, but sometimes our thoughts are so fast, there's so many, they're convoluted, they're a mixed mash of what's going on. Because let's face it, if you haven't been able to control your thoughts yet, then they're going to be like a big bowl of everything all mixed in together. So I just started to acknowledge when I would feel like I'd feel like a burning, or that it's sort of like a warm or a hot sensation in your solar plexus, which is down in between the lower ribs, like down where if someone punches you, you get winded in there. So I actually just went on Physicality to help me understand, or to catch the thoughts. So when I was feeling this, or I'd feel, my shoulders were stressing, or I was starting to feel a bit sick, when you're making yourself do something you don't want to do. We've all done this, or you keep doing something you don't want to do. Eventually your body will manifest something that will help you not do those things. All right, so it makes you sick, or it just lays you out. That's it. So, your mind is wanting one thing, yet your body, you're going and doing another. So what will happen is the mind will win in the end. So as I caught them, what I did was I was really kind to myself. Not always. Definitely not always. Because when you're learning, this stuff is slow. It can be stodgy. And it's a real bloody challenge. It's just a challenge. Because you're changing, Be okay with it. Hi, Paul. Because change is not always easy. And I've done a video on that one too, Some people feel they need to prepare for change. Get ready. Get ready. Change is coming. No. In fact, the best way to deal with everything is just stay in the moment and just allow change to come to you. Don't go chasing it. Don't think you can catch it and get all prepared and control it. That's not what it's about. But in the learning to do this, it can be challenging. And there are times when you think, I don't want to do it anymore. I'm not doing it today. I'm having the weekend off. I'll just think whatever I want. The brain, the mind is a muscle as well. So it's the same as going to the gym, or working out, walking, I don't know, whatever sort of fitness thing. I mean, your body aches to start off with. Your muscles are screaming out, "Will you stop?" Weeks before the muscles scream out, "Yeah," once you start to get primed and you start doing, and you can start to see results, okay? But sticking with it, I tell you what, not another person in your life ever is going to do this for you, or is going to have the interest level to do this for you. No one can do it for you. Even if they wanted to, they can't. So no one's going to come and save you from your own thoughts. Only you can do that. But it's a lot easier than you think. That's one thing I learned. Because when I started off, I had that muddle of thoughts, so much going on here and there, my thoughts, somebody else's thoughts, media's thoughts, movies, actors, oh God, you name it, all these weird thoughts. So it's very confusing, you know. But as I started to sort stuff out, I actually started to learn what my core beliefs were. I started to understand where I could draw a line in the sand about behaviours of others that I didn't agree with, because I started to know myself. And that's when you have some power, I can tell you. But that's also, it's incremental as you move along. It's very, it's really rewarding, because as soon as you'll know, because you and your universe will work together. What happens is you'll end up with things with like perfect timing. Really cool things start to happen, you know. You're running late, you're freaking out, but you're like, okay, before you leave the door, you're like, okay, I'm in this like crazy, running late, oh my God, I need to deal with this before I walk out my door, because I don't want any more of this. This is really going to screw my day up if I have more of this. So breathe in, breathe out. Grab one thought, get rid of it, put another one in. You know, you have a couple of go-to thoughts that make you feel good, okay? That's a really good thing to have. It could be anything, your kids, your favourite dog, a holiday memory, something like that. So if you have a couple of go-tos. So when you're at the door, you change what's going on. You walk out the door, you're like, okay, normally I would have been really hanging on to this, and because we get addicted to this kind of behaviour. So this is getting over an addiction. But you walk out because your universe doesn't give two shits about your try. I'll try to do it. I'm going to try to do that. I've been trying. No. It knows your do. What you're doing. Not what you're thinking you might try, or, I'll put a bit of effort in. So that moment when you walk out the door, when you've decided, I know this is a negative thought, I'm going to replace it, because this is my power. This is my life. This is what I want for my day. And you go out, the most coolest things happen. Like you'll drive out, someone just out of the blue just slows down, lets you into the traffic. You get green lights, you get car spaces. A lot of people would argue, hey, that's only little stuff. I want big stuff. I just say, well, look, you know, start thinking for a start. But a lot of people want to minimize these baby steps. It'd be like looking at a child when they take their first step and go, oh, really? Well, you know, run. I want to see you run. I'll be impressed if you run and climb. Well, you wouldn't, would you? Because you would understand baby steps, literally, figuratively for the baby. So same for us when we're doing stuff. And Ron Bowman's joined. Hello, Ron. I was only thinking about you yesterday. So in the act of deciding for yourself to take one thought out, because they're just thoughts. They're so easy. You can change your mind like that. It takes nothing and it's free and no one knows you've done it. But you do it every day anyway. Change it. You go out. You start to have a better day. Here is the proof. These are the things that prove to you that you have the power all along. All it took was a moment to go, right, the negative is not going to serve me at all. Ever. Unless you really want a shitty outcome, then it's like trumps. You're going to go, great, yes, go hard. But if you want to see change, that's going back to the topic I started with. If you want to see change in the world, be the change you want to see. Like people sometimes go, I'm so sick of rude people. Well, don't be so rude yourself. Be a kinder person. And this is the mirroring thing. A lot of us don't want to go, ooh, I'm not being very kind. Everybody wants to get all righteous. Oh, but I'm a good person. But you still do shitty stuff. How's that working? It's not. Righteous beliefs are a waste of time, an absolute waste of time. And I've said this before, because you can have a righteous belief, but it means nothing. And look, a suicide bomber here's the whole idea of doing it. It's a righteous belief. So it's not based in anything of any value or any great wisdom or anything like that. It's just BS, right? So if you want to see more laughter, then laugh more yourself. You want people to be kinder or more patient with you. Well, then be kinder and patient yourself. with others. Usually it always starts with the self, but be that for other people. You're wanting other people to be nicer for you. Everybody has this whole idea, oh, but I want the world to be nicer to me, or I want the world to be kinder to me, or I want it to be more abundant. Everyone's got this, I want. But very few are prepared to do and take any step in any direction that is going to get them at least 1 foot on the ladder. So you can go up a ladder, as a metaphor. So these steps are very, very small. They're very, very simple. They start with you. They happen in your head. God, it's so simple. I mean, it's so easy to think. But I tell you what, it's a whole other kettle of fish when you're learning to control your thoughts or control what you're going to think about. Like, you're there. You're like the landlord. Who are you going to keep? Are you going to have like really terrible tenants and let them stay while they wreck everything and smash furniture and party all night and swear and wreck stuff? Because that's what bad thoughts do. They corrupt you, and they're destructive, and they harm us because they bring our vibration down. It's not who said it to you, and it's not necessarily the words. It's the impetus. It's the value of those words in your head. So if we want something better, it's taking that out and not listening to other people and their opinions, because an opinion is nothing, all right? Yet we're encouraged to have opinions up the wazoo. Well, they're not worth shit. So for my Friday chat, which was very convoluted and around, and it came back, as they do. Anyone that knows me or has spoken with me knows this. And plus these topics are not, it's not like baking a cake where I can do step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. These things I talk about are bigger concepts, and they're not something that we've learnt about in school or most people don't hear it and they don't learn it. It's bits and pieces, and it's not until you actively decide, I'm going to change my life, that you start to bring these things to you into your life. Like attracts like. As soon as you decide, I think I'll do something about this. I think I'll get rid of some shitty thoughts because I'm about ready for some better life. Well, the universe goes, now remember, like attracts like. So the universe goes, yeah, and then it comes. You'll see a post, maybe here on Facebook. You'll see a book somewhere. Someone you'll happen in on conversation. You could be on public transport and you'll hear a conversation. It will come to you. You will draw it to you. This is how the universe works. So if you want something, be that something. Universe brings the rest to you. Oh, hello, Svetan. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Hello. Thanks for joining. So back to the topic. Be the change you want to see. Say it to yourself often, very often, and understand that you don't need to tell people what you're thinking, all right? In fact, I encourage people to keep these things to themselves while you're learning new thoughts, new ideas, new ways of doing things, because there's always dream stealers, and they hang out really close with the rain on your parade people. And they're always ready to rip you down, get you down. They don't, they're people that are just angry. That's fine. So keeping it to yourself actually keeps the energy contained in you, and you're not actually having to put up with anybody else's ideas on what your growth is about, or having you explain yourself, or explain why you're doing it, explain how you got there, explain what you're getting rid of thoughts. That's just a waste of time. That's why I think I kept it really, really quiet, actually. I did all of it in my head, and I guess people saw it because my actions changed. I changed because everything coming into my life changed, obviously. So the power is there. We've always had the power. Now, this is what's happening on the planet right now, is the power that the powers that be, let's call them the 1%, that the psychopaths that run the planet. If they can keep humans in a state of fear and guilt, then we're off kilter. We are second guessing things. Our vibration is so low. Fear and guilt, they're so low and slow. The vibration is so slow and sluggish, whereas love is the highest and fastest vibration of all. Like, how do you feel when you're in love? How do you feel when you're doing something that you love, or you're eating something that you love, or holding your grandchild or your child or your partner, whatever? How does love feel? Right, man? That stuff is electric, right? Makes you feel fantastic. So what happens is they try to keep us down on the scale so that we don't feel good about ourselves and become like independent of the system. So if you can see that a lot of stuff on this planet is not about your growth or your self-growth. In fact, it's about keeping you down. So if you can just keep this stuff to yourself while you're learning, while you're doing, then you don't have to worry about people questioning you or bringing a really crap energy in on you. But sometimes you're like hanging on, trying to just stay positive for the day, and it's all new, and you're so used to just, giving in and freaking out. So some days you're just, hanging on by your fingernails, but you're hanging on and you're doing it. So don't let the dream stealers in, all right? Because they just lower your energy and it's just a waste of time. And look, a lot of us have those people in our families. Still love them, that's fine. And until they want to change, you don't try to change them. Don't try to change anybody. But, share if people want to know about it. Definitely share your story, for sure. So that's my Friday video. And I think just look, go off and think about it. Again, you can teach kids this. What you think about, you bring about. So, be mindful of your thoughts. So those around you also, if you've got kids, hi, fire, welcome. So if you love your family, you love your kids, or, whoever it is around you, then what a wonderful gift. If you can start to raise your vibration and become, one, a happier person, two, you're like tweaking the universe in a way that you're like, all the good things are coming without effort. It's effortless, absolutely effortless, because you've already put the effort in here, where I said nobody else can do this for you in here, just you. But the payoff is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And you just keep growing, you just keep getting better at it. There is no, I get to hear it, oh, look, I've made it. Oh, great, I'm there. No, I mean, every day I'm still learning, every day. And I've been at this, positive stuff for like, wow, over 30 years. But it is so worth it. And like I said, if you have children or people around you that you love, I know you practice it, Fire. I know you do. And it's worth it, absolutely. And it's a gift to those around us to be mindful of, one, our power and our ability to draw to us great things instead of crap. And it's just about being responsible, You either want to be or you don't, And if you don't, then get ready, because you're just going to keep having the crap happen. So thank you for tuning in today. It's been wonderful chatting. And again, it's just another good topic. Constantly growing happily. That's very true, Fire, isn't it? It's just a constant, ongoing, wonderful. As it unfolds, it's beautiful. That's your choice in life, this great life of anticipation and excitement, or a life of the same crap and drudge and I know most people want that. But if you just realize it's just one step at a time, like the ladder. You can only go one rung at a time, and you can only climb the ladder when you take your hands out of your pockets. Metaphorically speaking, your hands in your pockets is when you're doing nothing. You're just standing at the ladder, wondering how all those people got all the way up there, and they seem very, very happy. So hands out of your pockets, with the view to, I'm going to give it a go. I don't have to tell anyone, so there's going to be no failure or success or anyone judging you. But each time you'll know when you've done another rung on the ladder. You will know, and you'll be very impressed. So on that note, I hope you have a wonderful rest of Friday and cruise on into the weekend. I hope it's a wonderful weekend for everybody. I have a big plan, and my plan is this: 0, nothing. Maybe a bit of wine, I think. That might be nice. So have a great weekend, and I look forward to seeing everybody on Monday with a new topic. Take care. Au revoir. Be kind. See ya.